All right, all right. Welcome everybody to another episode of Hot Seat Automotive Podcast. It's your buddy CJ here. We're talking about all things automotive industry. We're talking about the car guy hobby, the automotive enthusiast hobby, cars, all the things that gearheads are interested in. Real gearhead talk. This is the place to be for real gearhead talk. And guys, I am so grateful you're all here. Thank you so much to all my subscribers. If you're just a guest and you're not a subscriber yet, please give me a like and subscribe. Love to have you guys here. All car guys and car girls are welcome here. We talk about exotic cars and classic cars and the automotive industry, what the big manufacturers are doing, what the new innovations are, what's going on in the car scene. We talk about our subscriber cars. Guys, this is just a place for fun, for gearheads, real gearhead talk. Let's get right into it. Guys, tonight we're going to talk a bit about some automotive industry stuff, some automotive industry news, if you will. Whoa, let me adjust the old microphone here. Little automotive industry news tonight, guys. And please leave me comments as we're kind of going through. But a couple topics jumped off the page for me. And as you know, here on Hot Seat Automotive Podcast, we look at these things together. And we talk about them because that's what we do as automotive enthusiasts. So check this out, guys. Did you know that the Scout brand is coming back? International Harvester first produced the Scouts years ago. These were really, many will look at this as sort of the first modern SUV. These were certainly utility vehicles in every sense, all-wheel drive, really captured a solid following. I think going back to the 60s, 70s, really sort of the heyday for the Scout brand. But fast forward to today, what's going on? A joint venture backed by Volkswagen, the second largest automotive manufacturer in the world. Volkswagen is bringing back Scout. Here's the news. You ready for this? It's going to be an all EV SUV and light truck platform. So Scout is coming back. It's going to be all EV. Volkswagen is the backer here. Some other interesting news. They just broke ground on a $2 billion, that's billion with a B. Volkswagen and Scout just broke ground on a $2 billion factory right here in the United States of America in Blythewood, South Carolina. This is going to be an 1,100-acre property, $2 billion factory, probably going to employ somewhere around 4,000 people. And once it's fully implemented, this factory is going to targeted to produce 200,000 Scouts per year. Are you kidding me? So this is going to be a big factory producing these EV Scouts. Guys, really, really kind of interesting. When you think about it, you think about the Volkswagen brand. You know, Volkswagen has struggled over the years, I'd say. Listen, first things first, Volkswagen is second largest manufacturer, automobile company in the world. I mean, any business struggles. But I'll say, if you think specifically about Volkswagen's presence in the off-road market, you know, if you think about what's that market, that all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, off-road market dominated by Jeep, Ford, Ram, Chevy, GMC, the Bronco brand, the Hummer brand, Land Cruiser coming back. We got Rivian, we got Lucid, and others. It's a crowded market, right? But what's absent from there is a Volkswagen-owned brand. Volkswagen has struggled in this space. Real talk tonight. Volkswagen has struggled. And there really hasn't been... I mean, you guys leave me comments if you feel differently. You tell me where the Volkswagen as manufacturer with its current brands has really gotten anything that directly competes with a Jeep or with a Bronco. Brilliance here might be in going with this retro brand, and they haven't unveiled the models yet, guys, but they're supposed to be releasing the vehicle somewhere around Q3 2024. Give us a preview. The SUV is going to hit the market first, apparently, and then the pickup truck. This is targeting the U.S. market. Not only did they build the factory here, but they are targeting that Jeep, Bronco, core off-road market here in the United States. Make no mistake, with the new Scout brand, almost exclusively calling out that they really want to penetrate that highly profitable, lucrative off-road market in the United States. Guys, let's take a look at something else together, because you know that's what we do here on Hot Seat Automotive Podcast, guys. Hopefully you're having fun. Nobody should be allowed to have this much fun. But that's what we do, right? That's what we do. We love talking about cars and trucks here on Hot Seat Automotive Podcast. Let's take a look at this. So what they did, which I think was kind of cool, they actually got a convoy of vintage Scouts from Fort Wayne, Indiana to Blythewood, South Carolina. And we're looking at the previous image and this image here, really showing us what that looks like at the location there in Blythewood, where they're breaking ground on that $2 billion Scout factory. But all the way from the former home of International Harvester, where the Scouts were originally made, they drove this convoy of Scouts all the way to Blythewood, South Carolina, to the site of the new factory, which I think is kind of cool. Guys, the vehicle, as I mentioned, will be unveiled. These new electric EVs, these new all-electric vehicles will be unveiled, including the new SUV and potentially the new pickup truck. It's going to be a body-on-frame design. I think one of the things we got to talk about, though, is potential headwinds. And this is just what your buddy CJ thinks. Let me know what you guys think. But I think there is brilliance with Volkswagen bringing back the Scout brand and targeting the U.S. market to try to get a piece of that action that's dominated by Jeep and Bronco, Ford, Ram, etc. Having said that, what about the headwinds? They're targeting like a $50,000 entry point, apparently, and for the new Scout. Guys, I'm always so skeptical. Leave me comments if you agree. I'm always so skeptical when these manufacturers come out with these target launch prices. Real talk tonight. Listen, typically when the manufacturer says it's going to launch at 50K, yeah, we'll see. Is it going to launch at 60K or 70K? Like, I've just seen it too many times over the years. They get us riled up. They get the consumer lathered up. Hey, this is going to be a cool, new, innovative retro SUV. Hopefully it'll be retro, picking up on some of that Scout styling. They get us all fired up. They take the deposits. And then, guess what? Instead of 50K, it's going to be 58K or 65K or 70K. We'll see if they hold to that. Right now, did you know, guys, that the average EV price point for a new EV is about $60,000. So there was probably some genius in Volkswagen and Scout announcing that this thing would come in $10,000 under that, but we'll see. Your buddy CJ said it. Real talk, real gearhead talk. Let's see if they actually hold true to that. We will see. These things should start being produced by 2026. They want to ramp this factory up to 200,000 vehicles per year, employing about 4,000 people. By the way, the factory is located about 20 miles north of Columbia, South Carolina. And did you know, right here in South Carolina, you've also got BMW, Volvo, and Mercedes-Benz also doing manufacturing. So South Carolina is the new Detroit. No, it isn't. Just kidding. But guys, leave me comments. Let me know what you think. I do also think there's that waning demand currently. I shouldn't say waning demand. Let's call it a cooling off in the demand for EVs here in the United States and beyond. Let's not forget, I did a whole episode on what Mr. Toyota said, chairman of Toyota. And his prediction is that the EV market will never grow above 30% of overall new vehicle sales globally. And I tend to be in the same corner as Mr. Toyota, and what he says certainly holds a lot of stock with me as the chairman of the number one automotive manufacturer in the world. So kind of exciting, kind of intriguing, excuse me, to know that Volkswagen is bringing back the Scout brand. Should start producing vehicles around 2026, but not without headwinds that are facing every EV manufacturer right now. Guys, let's take a look at something else here. As you know, here on Hot Seat Automotive Podcast, we look at things together. What about this? What are we looking at here, guys? What we are looking at here is the car of the future from Chrysler? Are you kidding me? Look at this. This is the Chrysler Halcyon. This vehicle was introduced fairly recently as a concept car, branded as Chrysler, although, listen, this is the broader Stellantis. Not much going on with Chrysler. I did a whole other episode on that, talking about that, dare I say, the decay of the Chrysler brand. I think maybe Stellantis could have made this put any badge on this as a concept car. They decided to badge it as a Chrysler. Maybe that injects a bit of adrenaline into the Chrysler brand. I don't know. But what is this thing? This thing is super high tech. First of all, it's a level 4 autonomous vehicle concept car. What is a level 4 autonomous vehicle? That means that it still has a steering wheel. A driver can still operate this vehicle, but in all other driving conditions, unless demanded by the driver to take control, this thing will drive itself. This is an autonomous vehicle, make no mistake, where a driver can request control. So this is truly a concept with the latest artificial intelligence and machine learning built in. This thing also has wireless charging capability. Wow. How about that? You think it was cool when you could charge your iPhone or your Android wirelessly? This is an EV that could potentially be charged wirelessly. Pretty cool, right? There's probably some logistics and engineering challenges around this, and indeed there are. This was demoed as sort of a proof of concept where certain lanes equipped with this wireless charging technology could enable this vehicle, this fully electric vehicle, to travel long distance without needing a charging station. And the concept here that Chrysler is talking about is that by leveraging this technology, you could drive from New York to Seattle, for example, without needing to stop at a charging station. The idea is that as you're driving down the road, some sort of electromotive force with voltage and, jumping the gap, if you will, between the road and your vehicle. I don't know exactly how it works. Leave me comments if you know more about it. But the Chrysler Halcyon is a demonstration vehicle for this wireless charging technology. Chrysler Stellantis calls it dynamic wireless power transfer. There you go. Stellantis, Chrysler, they're calling it dynamic wireless power transfer. There you go. What do you guys think about that? Leave me comments. Guys, let's take one more look at this thing, just because I think it's kind of cool and futuristic, and why not, right? Kind of fun to look at. So here's another view of that Chrysler Halcyon. This is a concept car. This is an EV. This is a level 4 autonomous vehicle, which means it does have the ability to drive itself under nearly all driving conditions. However, it does still have a steering wheel. So this thing drives itself unless an operator requests control. This thing will have all the artificial intelligence, machine learning to enable it to drive passengers. You look at those chairs; they look like recliners, right? You can kind of bug out and let this thing drive itself as a level 4 autonomous vehicle. Leave me comments. Let me know what you think about that. Look at this thing. Just looks super easy to get in and out of, right? Looks like something from a science fiction movie, science fiction film or something, but probably more of a demonstrator of technologies and architectures to be leveraged in future generation EVs than something that's going to come to production. Who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, the BMW i8, I always say, was kind of like a concept vehicle that actually went to production. There have been other examples over the years. Who knows? Maybe we will get some form of the Chrysler Halcyon into production in the coming years. Whether or not that dynamic wireless power transfer, that wireless charging technology, is something that can be practically implemented beyond just technical demonstrations, proof of concept. Is that something Chrysler says, Stellantis says, we want to be able to operate these Chrysler Halcyons from, New York to Seattle without having to stop at a traditional charging station? That's the idea, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, whether it's in this vehicle or in future vehicles, I don't know if that dynamic wireless power transfer is ever going to become a thing. But the idea is that your range anxiety goes away, right? Because your vehicle is charging itself as it drives down certain roads. Well, where will those certain roads be, and how effective will they be? Who will have access to them? How will all that work? I don't know, but time will tell. Guys, let's keep going. Something else I want to look at. Let's talk about the Blue Oval Company here for a moment. All right, guys, let's keep going. Talking about a little automotive industry news this evening. Guys, what about the Blue Oval Company? So, do you know who Jim Farley is? Jim Farley, Mr. Jim Farley, is the CEO of Ford. Took over a few years ago in that capacity. What I'll tell you is he has come out recently and said that have no fear, Ford is focused on fixing their quality and industrial system problems. Whew. Maybe a bit late for those who have been Ford owners over the past 2, 3, 4, 5 years. What are we looking at here in this image? Remember 2020, 2021, thousands of Broncos that were highly in demand. The new Bronco, right? Highly in demand. Everyone wanted one during COVID, right? Everyone was super excited to get their new Bronco. And here they are needing roof replacements because of either supply chain or quality problems or both. Leave me comments if you know about what the deal was. Bottom line, Ford has experienced a bunch of quality issues and supply chain issues in recent years. Are you kidding me? So they've got some work to do, and it's not just the Bronco. The Mustang Mach-E has experienced issues, and the Explorer has experienced issues. You know, your buddy CJ, as a car guy, and real talk this evening, I've experienced these issues with Explorers and Ford vehicles I've owned as well, okay? I'm not going to go into the details, but numerous recalls, quality issues, all kinds of weirdness. I'm still a huge Ford fan. I would buy another Ford, okay? Absolutely would. I'm rooting for the Blue Oval boys. Having said that, I'm a little disappointed. So Mr. Farley said that Ford has been in an $8 billion cost disadvantage. Ford has been at an $8 billion cost disadvantage in the face of competition in the areas of sourcing, design, and vehicle construction and building, vehicle manufacturing. Those are kind of your three main areas, right? Those are core competencies: sourcing, design, and manufacturing, actually building the vehicles. If you've got problems and if you're at a gross disadvantage in those three areas, you're flawed, right? You've got major business operating problems in core competencies. So is this the 1970s? Is this the malaise era all over again? Like, didn't Detroit learn a lot of these lessons in the 70s and 80s? A little disappointing that Ford is trying right now to recover from a rough patch, number of years of misses around quality, around supply chain, challenges with design, all of these things. A little disappointing. And right now, Ford is trying to find $2 billion in cost savings. $2 billion in cost savings. They're also looking for creative ways to incentivize managers and leaders to improve their quality scores. Apparently, a lot of leaders and managers within Ford were still getting their full bonuses despite having abysmal quality and supply chain challenges and manufacturing challenges. So even though they had poor performance in certain areas with certain platforms, these folks were still getting their full bonuses. And Mr. Farley's saying we've restructured and we're in the process of restructuring compensation models for certain leaders, managers, staff, etc., so that your bonus will be tied directly to your scores around quality, around efficiency, around effectiveness across the board. So I say those things all make sense to me. Your buddy CJ, as a business guy and as a car guy, I will say those things make sense to me, but a little disappointing that now we're having to course correct in an industry where your key metrics have been for decades. Since the beginning of time, it has been critical to get sourcing, quality, design, manufacturing right. These are core competencies. This isn't some new innovation, right? The fact that all these Broncos were sitting in storage outside, if you will, just in lots, I should say, not even in storage, thousands of Broncos, because there were supply chain and or quality issues with the vehicles, with the roofs. I don't know all the details, but come on, what happened there? You're one of the leading manufacturers of automotive vehicles and products in the world, and you had a major failure here. So, and that's just one, right? Quality issues with the Explorer, with the Mach-E, recalls, etc. Too many to enumerate. It is good. Now, I'm not here to bash Ford. It is good to hear that they're looking to fix some things. Mr. Farley seems like a competent, serious business leader, hopefully an effective business leader to really turn this around. Toyota had quality issues years ago. Mr. Toyota turned it around, and that organization turned it around. I want only the best for Ford. I am rooting for you, Blue Oval boys. But, a little disappointing that it got to this, that it came to this. Nonetheless, onward and upward. Let's hope for the best from Ford going forward. Leave me your comments if you've had direct experience with Ford and some other challenges over the past few years. Guys, one more thing I want to talk about. Hopefully everybody's having fun. I know I am. Here on Hot Seat Automotive Podcast, we love talking about new cars and updates to existing cars. I want to reiterate, I did a whole episode on the new Aston Martin Vantage, but I kind of want to close out this week's automotive news talking a little bit about this again. 659 horsepower twin turbo V8, extremely beautiful, exotic, rare European sports car. It's the Porsche 911 alternative. V8 twin turbo rear wheel drive. Are you kidding me? It's the James Bond car. It's naturally aspirated, guys. It's not a battery powered car. I guess my point being, automotive enthusiasts, whether you're a Gen Xer or a boomer or a millennial or a Gen Z, stop complaining. Like these are still exciting times for gearheads and for automotive enthusiasts. Yes, there's a pivot and a shift in industry with some projections and some strategic moves towards EV, towards hybrid and all these things. We don't know where it's going to play out, but I'll say, listen, I'll go out on a limb here. Your buddy CJ is willing to put his money where his mouth is, so to speak. The next generation and the generation after that, Gen Z's kids and their kids, Gen Z's grandkids. I don't know what the automotive enthusiast hobby is going to look like for those gearheads, right? But I can tell you, for those of us, whether you're a boomer, a Gen Xer, a millennial, a Gen Z, enjoy the moment, guys. We still have access to all of the internal combustion engine cars we could possibly want. They're all out there. Classic cars, modern cars, cars from the 2000s, cars from the 90s, cars from the 80s, cars from the 70s, new stuff, okay? Including, here's an example, right? You got Corvettes out there, you got Porsches, you got whatever. You got Lotuses still being made with internal combustion engines. You got the Astons now. It's a very expensive car. This car is going to be starting at $208,000, the new Aston Martin Vantage. The good news is these things depreciate like rocks. I said it. Don't care if I offended English car guys, but traditionally, English cars depreciate like rocks. It's not just English cars. The good news is you could pick up a used Vantage, few years old, hopefully you get a warranty with it. But listen, these things are still being manufactured. Not sure when they're going to end, but today you can pick these up used, or if you want to go with the new ones, 656 horsepower. It ain't going to come cheap, but it is available. So let's enjoy the moment. So it's a cool car. It's a beautiful car. I'd probably still rather have the Porsche. Go ahead. I said it. Aston guys, get mad at me. But I think, from my previous episode, check it out on the channel where I talked more about this and compared it directly to the 911. A lot of the feedback I've gotten hearing from you guys, I love your comments, was that you kind of agreed with me. You'd rather have the Porsche too, for the most part. One of my buddies said he'd rather look at the Aston, but he'd rather drive the Porsche. And I said, you got it right. So guys, that's about it for tonight. A little bit of automotive news. Hopefully you guys had fun, as much fun as I did. Listen, Hot Seat Automotive Podcast. Your buddy CJ loves you. And I love all my subscribers, all my guests. You guys mean the world to me. Keep the good feedback coming, comments. I'll respond to all the comments I can, time allowing. But guys, give me a like and subscribe if you can. Love to have you as part of the channel. We have so much fun around here. We're just getting started. And guys, listen, just have a wonderful evening and a wonderful day. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.